Evening all. Good evening everybody out there in Steelerland. How is everyone tonight? I hope you're all well and I hope you can hear me. Number one. Evening John. Evening Ham and Jam. Evening Jonas. Evening Aled. Evening James and evening Nick. How is everyone out there tonight? Yeah, as already been said, get those likes in early. What's everyone painting tonight? That's my question for you all. That's the thing. Evening, Carl. Sorry I missed last week. Evening, Terry. Sorry I missed last week, but I had a load of videos I was just trying to get off my computer basically. So it was just a case of I wanted to do that rather than anything else. So I was sat down every evening just hammering these things out because I was just sitting zapping up all my memory on the old computer. So it's I decided not to do a live stream because I don't think I had anything to paint at the time. But anyway, quite a bit of stuff here tonight. You'll be working on some 28mm for bolt action stuff, painting 50mm cowboys and Little Wars TV tombstone going. Excellent. I'm painting some 15mm cowboys tonight. Well, some cowboy townspeople and some Plains Indians as well. Evening, Sachiel. Good to have you on board. So yeah, evening, Julian. So yes, it was I missed out a bit last week. I'm currently as well trying to grind out the last of these 1/600th aircraft that I've got. These are the KI-15s, KI-15 Babs. Last of these ones. These are the very first. With the 6 of these I painted were the first ones. I finished. I don't know why I didn't paint all 11 of them. Should have had 12, but I think a couple got lost in the post. Hang on, sorry, we're slowing up. Once work is done, back to carry a platoon for Yayo Group. Excellent. Supposed to be working on 50mm Panzer IIs. Good stuff. Evening all, not painting yet. Still having tea. Yums. Building Victrix Normans. Good day from the land of Oz. Working a night shift, 4:30am. Blimey, I'm getting up early tomorrow. Not that early though, but I'm getting up. Turned out I'm tiling the bloody bathroom. Oh well, these are the problems you have, James. I got a package from Warlord Games today, so I'm washing a pile of resin in ethanol. Excellent. Working on your riverbanks tonight. How do, Jason? Evening, White Stag Miniatures. Bloody hell, there's a lot of you in tonight. As I say, hit that like button. So I've got the KI-15 Babs to do. I've also got these. These are the KI-21 1C Sallies. 6 of these to do. I don't think I'm going to get them done tonight, but I can get some basic colours on them at least. Terry says you're painting Perry's for War of Roses, your latest project. White Star painting a German mortar tonight, 20mm of course. I've also got these townsfolk that I want to finish off. These are base coated and undercoat and washed. I'm going to try to do these first of all, 15mm. I've got these Indians down here which I may or may not do. Now, one thing some of you may have seen already is that Warbases are releasing a set of 15mm cowboy buildings. And I've already been tagged in it at least once. They've sent. I've got 4 of them sitting there behind me. They've sent me some to review earlier this week, so I've made a video of that. The video will be out on Saturday, just after the release. So you'll be able to see what they look like in the flesh, but I can tell you here and now they are absolutely fantastic. They're really good. I'm not going to spoil them tonight, but they've already released pictures of them anyway, so I don't think I'm under any obligations anymore to keep it a secret. But anyway, let's get some townsfolk painted up, shall we? Or at least started on. Evening Wargames Nuts. Good to have you on board. How are you doing? How are you painting? I was just watching Dom's latest video just before I came live. I'll watch the rest of it later. But if Dom turns up later on, I've got a question for him. I want to know what channel he was talking about that was saying you're a bad person for playing Germans in World War II historical gaming. If anybody else knows what it is, let me know. Duke says I've been doing some 144 interest World War One 3D printed planes. Excellent. Yeah, I've got tons of those boys. More of those than I'll ever used in a lifetime. But that's because of my love of the First World War and the First World War aircraft in particular. There we go. That's that fella done. Evening, Pete. It's what channel? Midwinter Miniatures. Oh, thanks, Ham and Jam. Okay, I'll go and check it out. I'm sure they'll probably get quite a few comments on their old comments section. Who's wondering the same thing? There you go, Midwinter Minis. There we go. It's been confirmed several times. Obviously, it's. I'm assuming it's caused quite a bit of controversy. I've not seen it. I don't think I'm. I don't think I can't remember if I'm subscribed to Midwinter Miniatures. I don't know. I know the name, but I can't place what their channel is. You know, to avoid now. Well, far be it for me to attack another channel. Their opinions are their own at the end of the day. Not necessarily correct, but it is what it is. Okay, it's 24 you out there now, 16 likes. Hit that like button, folks. You know what you're going to do. So, this week, I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done because I'm going to be away for work tomorrow and the day after. So I'm going to be about... so I'm not going to be able to do much painting over the next couple of days. But it is Partisan this weekend as well on Sunday. So I'm going to go ahead along to that. If anybody else will be there, let me know. Come and say hello. I know a couple of people say, "Oh, I see you," but then you're filming and I don't want to interrupt. Just come and interrupt, say hello, because I will be filming it. But I always look forward to Partisan. It's always a good show. I like it. The previous salute was very good. I'm not sure. So I'm in two minds now as to which, because Partisan's always been the favourite show in the UK, but the last salute was very, very good. So I'm kind of wondering. Hopefully, this Partisan will live up to it. Sorting out a pile of feudal and Japanese 28mm. It turned up, finishing painting a bunch of So High for Test of Honour, some World Eaters for Horror 70. Never thought it was right down. Painting 50mm milk churns, dustbins, greenhouses, French concrete. Good man. All came from Sabotage, I assume. If they did, they're all good. I think I've got all of those. Yeah, they certainly make a table much more interesting. I'll tell you that. Paintbrush is too small for what I need. I need something slightly thicker. You'll do. Might get there, but I have a heavy night in Otley on Saturday night, so I may be feeling tired. Every night's a heavy night in Otley, isn't it? A mate of mine I used to work with, he lived in Otley. He was from Otley. That's a long time ago. I don't think I've ever been. So I'm just doing the highlights on these Peter Pig townsfolk. These are for Water Cowboy. I think you're a little late. You'll have to catch up later. No worries, Dave. Don't worry about it. You've only missed 10 minutes. Not much has happened. Cool, South Africa. Excellent. Whereabouts in South Africa are you, Sean? Been to South Africa. 20 early war minis, World War II figures and vehicles, paint space, Italy 43, 28 dead man figures, Italy Patar for What Cowboy, along with the buildings, good stuff. Party weekend, big 60, happy birthday for tomorrow. Excellent. Do you feel it? Do you look it is the question, I guess. Yeah, South Africa's a nice place. I went out to Barberton and Johannesburg and the Drakensberg Mountains whilst I was there. I went out to Rorke's Drift and Nisanawana. Said to my mate who I went with, I said, "When there's no way I'm going to South Africa and I'm not going to Rorke's Drift." So we did. There we go. Need to find a Wargames club new to Ilkley and Otley. There must be one up there. Leeds. There'll be the Leeds Night Owls. They're up there. Really impressed with the work Paul does at Sabotage. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? The Kruger National Park. Yeah. I've been to the Kruger. 60 km north of Barberton. Yes, yeah, I've been to Kruger. In fact, I saw the top 5, the Kruger 5, whilst we were there. I was there when I was there. That's when they announced that Michael Jackson had died. That's when it was. However long ago that is. Came on the radio and we were watching a cheetah disappear into the bush. And that's no euphemism. But yeah, that's going back some now, I think. Yeah, we stayed in Barberton for quite a few nights. Ended up in an Afrikaans nightclub one night. I can't remember the name of it though. Good times. My friend is South African, and his mum lived in Barberton. She died a couple of years ago, so he was going to see her, and he asked me if I fancied joining him for the trip. He was meeting up with his sister and her husband. It was like a bit of a family do thing. I said, yeah, I'll come along. I've not got nothing else to do. It was a right laugh. We were there for about 3 weeks. Good times. 1998. No, Michael Jackson died later than that, if that's what you're referring to. I'd actually, bizarrely enough, I'd just spent the preceding 6 months living in Iceland. So I went from the top of the world right to the bottom of the world, almost overnight. Strange times when I was a youngster. Your goal for tonight is 5 vehicles base coated that are threatened with snow. Oh dear. Yeah, happy birthday, Brent. It's when the fun begins. You can still survive fun. I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's plenty of fun to be had. The problem is I undercoated these guys. Well, base coated them a while back, a couple of days ago, and I've forgotten what paints I used on them all. Because they're not... because they don't have uniform. I've got no idea. I can never remember what paints I used on civilians. It's one of the reasons I don't like painting them. Oh, who else is out there anyway? There's nearly 30 of you watching, so give us a shout out in the old audience. Let me know who's watching and what you're painting, if you're painting, or what you're doing. But I figured I've been playing the campaign for What a Cowboy, so I'm on to the next scenario. Is going to be the 3rd scenario. I've already filmed and sorted out the first 2 scenarios. Evening, Greg. Still 21 in your head. So I filmed and edited the first 2 scenarios. They're up on the channel waiting to be released, probably in a couple of months, I would have said. And I'm going to film another one, but I realise that the closer I get to Lardville, the more civilians I'm going to need. So I've got these ones from Peter Pig. These are just their townspeople. These are the men folk. I've also got a pack of their women folk as well, so I'll paint those up. And they'll do very nicely, thank you. I should hope, anyway. I had some lovely weather today. Afternoon, Charles. Bloemfontein. Did I go to Bloemfontein? I may well have done. Or at least we went through it, I think. Louis here, painting Oathmark Elves. How do, Louis? Bit of a departure. There's a Brian Adams track. I'll be 18 till I die. Yeah. We went out, I think it's Sturkfontein. Maybe I'm getting Bloemfontein mixed up with that. The Cradle of Civilization. Went to have a look at the caves where I think it's where Lucy was found. Some of the oldest oldest hominid remains. Isn't that Leo DiCaprio's dating pool? Ouch. You'll get me demonetised. Right. Just trying to pick out the highlights on these things. Somebody else in the What a Cowboy Facebook group has been painting some 15mm figures, and they're amazing. They look like the 28mm. I've got no idea how people can paint that well at this scale. Patience, I guess. And not just slapping the paint on like I do. Games you play in Bloom. Much of a crowd are you on your own? Yeah, look at that. Storm of Steel bringing people together. That's cool. I was going to say, is there many wargamers in South Africa? I bet it's quite a small scene. Got to get energetic to keep up. So now we've got onto celebrity gossip. A guy here in his nice red shirt. Just gone out to get some flowers, get caught up in a gunfight. It wasn't Lucy at some bar in Torvillas. Yeah, I think it's probably the residents of pretty much all of Derbyshire, to be honest, for Lucy. It's alright, I can say that. I used to work there. I like that. So what I'm going to aim to do is I'm going to try to get these lads finished, which probably won't take very long, to be honest, because there's not much on to do on them. Then I'll probably varnish these later after the stream. But then I'm going to probably get some undercoats on these aircraft, I think, and then that's my plan. If I can get that far, I don't think I'm going to touch the Indians tonight. So I've got to get up early anyway, so it's going to be a reasonably early night tonight. Doing an errand for your daughter and brought it close to the one mobile shop. Picked up 9 1/100 scale Soviet tanks. Excellent. Tigers have something to shoot at other than the Shermans. Nice. There's quite a few in Joburg and Cape Town. Yeah, outliners, not so much. I can imagine. I wasn't talking about. Fair enough. Did everybody get their crack con? I certainly bought mine. I bought it this morning. I think there was about 9 or so left when I got mine, but it sold out by this afternoon. I assume they'll probably release some more at some point later in the future. I would have thought. That's what they did last time. I guess you never really know how many people are going to attend, do you? So you don't want to over-egg the pudding in the first instance, anyway. There we go. Who else needs some paint on them? I think you do. Evening, Martin. Just dropping by to say hi, Martin. AZW Naval Brigade tonight. Good stuff. You're not doing the hoovering then, Martin? We're just talking about you and CrackCon. I'm just saying, I bet you'll be putting some more tickets out at some point. I'll be surprised if you don't. October seems like such a long way away, but it really isn't, is it? It'll soon be on us. I don't know what these guys are holding in their hands here. I don't know if it's like a cape or something, or something weird. Can't always tell with Peter Pig. They are nice figures, and that's all that matters. Your next trip is the Bacchus Open Day, Joyous 6, the next day. Yeah, I'm putting a game on at Joyous 6. I'm also, Peter Berry told me last time I saw him that I'm apparently on their panel as well. For the Wargaming panel. So that's slightly daunting, I think. I don't know why, but I'm putting on a game of Algae. Algae pulls it off in 6mm. I'm not sure whether to do it as a participation game or fully as a just a demo game. You got your crack on tickets, excellent. I'm in two minds. I wonder if is it a hat that he's wearing. Something they're in there weird in their hands. I'm going to paint this one's white. Maybe it's like a cloth or something for I don't know, for wiping a bar down or something. Who knows? I'll paint his white. Right. I think that's them all done, you know. I'd say they didn't really need a great deal of stuff. To show most of O2, Chain of Command, what a tanker, whole group, and bolt action. I'm very interested in what a cowboy. Just got a group going about 8 chaps, so kind of interested. Still supplying all-terrain forces. Well, that's good. 8 people is a good number. It's a good sized crew, isn't it, for a start off? It means you can all split off into smaller groups as well if you want to, as everyone else collects stuff. Let's have a little look. I think I'll do these with. I'll just give them a quick coat of. I'm losing my mind here. Here we are. Where is it? There it is. Matte varnish. That's what I'm after. Hoovering was done this morning after everyone left and the house was quiet. Bit of hoovering, some more, and a nice coffee. Sounds like a perfect recipe, that morning. It certainly does. Well, you're not on site today, Martin. I assume you're at home writing up reports. I'm heading out onto sites this week. Sorry, not this weekend. I'm going to look round Otterburn. I'm looking forward to it. It's nice to get out. It's a massive long drive though. If you're on the panel, I hope you have your feline brain present. Tiny. Yeah, I think Tiny would be a bit. Well, she'd be just going around getting cuddles off everybody. That's all Tiny would do. So I wouldn't take her. Just checking a few things, but there should be more tickets getting released soon. We're a bit stunned at the speed they went. Well, you know, people have been talking about it for a while, and it's a very popular day. So I don't see why they wouldn't get snapped up. And the last 3 have been a success. Obviously, I didn't get to the first one, but the other ones certainly have. And it's in a good position as well. It's in a good place, you know, right in the centre of the city, in the centre of the country. I think that's always a pull factor, just for people getting places. You know, that's not. Nobody feels too put out by it. Go on, Sean. What are your interests? Tell us all. So the problem is with this brush on varnishes, it's not actually a very good matte, but it does protect them quite well. So I'll do them in this matte, and then I'll give them a spray, as I say, afterwards, and then that's almost these done. So I just need some static grass on them when I get back on Thursday, and they'll be done. I've been working on those aircraft sheets as well for Malaya and for Bag the Hun. I did the Battle of Britain ones as well. If you have a look on the Storm Steel Facebook page, I'll put a link to them if anybody plays Bag the Hun out there, and if you don't, why not? There's a question. Great game. But somebody had done some really nice. I don't know if you've seen them, but somebody had done some really nice aircraft sheets, and I just took their template and did my own with them. Never any WSIs. Well, that's where the money is. Or you're writing them for yourself, or you're writing them for other companies. for those who don't know, the WSI is a written scheme of investigation. It's what we archaeologists have to write before any project goes ahead. It's basically a semi-legal document that just lays out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and who you're going to do it with. You have to put them into the local planning authority, archaeologist, and they have to sign off on it. And they usually have a say. Well, it depends on the land. It depends on the project. There you go. Bits of archaeology knowledge for you tonight. Don't say you don't get anything when you tune into these things. Duke says she played Water Tanker with a mate of mine the other day. First time playing it, great fun. Now I have to paint a few 1/72 scale time. Take 2 years ago. The what, the way, the how, the who, the fault it'll be. Exactly. Yes, so it can all be traced back to someone. We're going to be playing Water Tanker down at the club next week. I'm not playing it this week because obviously I don't think I'll be back from Northumberland in time this week. But I said I'd bring down a load of 15mm tanks for Water Tanker. The good thing about it is you can turn up at a club with it and just everybody just has a go. You can just throw tanks in where you want to, really. Draw 2 lines from Derby around the world. No meet in Derby, so I guess it's central. yeah. Central is entirely dependent on where you are in the world as well. I'm talking central in the UK here, honest. I mean, there must be a point in Sweden that's similar to Derby. That probably also has Lucy in a bar there as well. Right, that's them done. So I'm just going to block colour in these Japanese planes now. I don't know why I didn't do these babs the first time round when I did the first 6 of them. I probably thought there was too many at 12 or 11. I thought there was, but they're tiny. They take no time at all to paint. So I've got these ones. I've got the Blenheims still, another blood of Blenheims, the Night Fighter versions. I've got another 12 zeros to do. But actually, I think what I'm going to have to do is at Partisan, I'm going to have to pick up some more decals from the guys over at Pendragon, because I'm running out of the tiny decals for the Japanese. And then I'm just going to end up with tons and tons of Japanese decals, because I've only used a small amount of them, because I'm only using the tiniest ones. What I should have done is got some from Flight Deck, his 1/600 scale ones, rather than the various scale ones that I have got, all locations in Sweden. For flying games, I used to play a lot of Star Trek Attack Wing. I lost opponents when I left Chef. Church stayed down smashing. Thank you, Greg. Thank you very much. It was just layers of dry brushing. I'd made a video the other day. One of the videos that I was editing last week was how to make a tutorial of making Wild West buildings. So I did exactly the same process on the church as I did with that building. So when that video comes out, you'll see what I did. But it's just layers of dry brushing, basically. Very simple. And then just details in the churchyard, not much else. Never played Star Trek Attack Wing for years. I told you before, so I flogged it off. I've never played it once. I played X-Wing. I don't know, it must have been the original version of it. My mate Dean had it. We had a couple of games of that. I enjoyed it. Very token heavy though. It's one of those. Felt a little bit like you could cheese it as well quite easily. I would have kept it basic, but then that's the same with stuff like Legion as well. It's for competition gaming. It seems to be primarily. I think we just pared it back and just played with the basic stuff instead of adding loads and loads of little bits and pieces in. You know, to just get those little extra bits. I have actually been thinking about Bag the Jedi, which is somebody had done a Star Wars version of Bag the Hun. It's in one of the Too Fat Lardy specials. and I was looking at it. And I was looking for some 3D printed Star Wars aircraft, for want of a better word, spaceships. I did find some, but I just never got around to getting them printed off. I could do that now. Now that I've got Paul printing these bases for me, I could always go back to Bag the Jedi. Just do it basic, you know, the basic stuff from New Hope and the original trilogy. So it'd just be X-wings, Y-wings, A-wings, TIE fighters, TIE interceptors, TIE bombers. Sod everything else. That's all you need, isn't it, really? On Lambda class shuttles as well. And the amount of money I've spent on 3D printing through Sabotage, I probably could have bought about 4 printers. But I'm holding off on it because if I buy a printer, my house is just going to absolutely be full of resin models. So what are we saying? The original was World War I based. It was adopted for Star Trek and a kiddie version. Yes, Wings of Glory is the one you're talking. I've got millions of aircraft for that because I love First World War aircraft. I'm half in the mind of selling them off because it's just a big bag of stuff that I never use, and they're worth an absolute fortune as well. So I don't know. I was just thinking about thinning out the collection a little. The last time I played it, we had a big club game of it, which was good fun, but I've not played it since because I much prefer Algae Pulls It Off. It's a lot more granular. What are we saying? Painting Napoleonics at the moment. Play Bolt Action Saga. Squaw. Menu would be king. Sport whack, but need some cowboys. I'll have some boas that will proxy. Oh, that'd be great. Boa Wars for what? Cowboy. That'd be ace. Any tips on painting power concrete power? I'm trying to think how I did it, Alid. It was probably just stone grey, washed with Nuln oil, and then just dry brushed once again with stone grey, Vallejo stone grey. I would have thought. Then maybe another slight lighter dry brush on top of that, or something else. It's been a long time since I painted them, but that's probably what I'd do. Remember, concrete is quite light. It's quite a light colour, so I would. I'd be don't paint it too dark grey. Have a look around at concrete blocks and stuff like that around your house. You'll see what I mean. It's quite tempting to think that concrete is pretty dark, but it's not. It's almost white. You're trying to put the money aside for a printer. Each month something has come up to smash the money jar for another month. What a commando. Yeah, I think that is currently being talked about. I sent John a message the other day that I wouldn't mind doing something like What a Drocker as well. Jewish Dread version of What a Cowboy. John has already done a moderns version of What a Cowboy, and a 1920s version of it as well, for the bootlegging stuff. So I was asking him what about stuff like automatic weapons and things and how they play out in the game, and he said he's been writing a draft of the moderns version and was looking for playtesters. So he said he'd send me a copy at some point. So I'd like to see that, because then what I could do is just have a look at what Jewish Dread weapons there are and just see how they convert, because they're all going to be about the same, aren't they? There's a Ferengi proverb: prophet is a prophet, a Sopwith camel is eternal. Very true, that. Tea finished. What did you have, Steve? Now time for paint on some cowboys, ready for a game on Sunday. No worries, Alid. Let us know how they turn out. I think they'll be alright. Yeah, just go stone grey, black wash, stone grey, and then a slightly whiter grey if you've got it. At least that's what I'd do. See these one 600 aircraft are so easy to paint. There is nothing to them. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to get to those Indians tonight. Does anybody want to see a sneaky view of the war bases, Cowboy Town stuff? You'd love to be able to use what Cowboy for Revolution Germany 1823. Yeah, that'd be good. What's a Spartacist? That'd be good. Yeah, yeah. All you need is automatic weapons, won't you? Like the MP18 and stuff, and the there's already rules for the Gatling gun and things in there. Evening battle mat. A nice roast. Bit warm for a roast, isn't it? Let me just get you some of these. I'll show you some of these. There you go, an exclusive, a stream exclusive. Let's hope they're not watching from war bases. There you go. There's one of the big ones. I mean, I've done quite a bit of these, so don't think that this is what you get in the pack because I've done a bit. I think this is the Chinese laundry, if I remember correctly. We got another one here. This is, I think that's a barber shop. And then here, this is the Pony Express. I'll bring them over. Thank God, non-controversial cowboys. Show us the goodies, yes please, yes. There you go. Right, so yeah, so there's the Pony Express. As I say, I've added brackets and stuff, and I've added a base and all the watering holes and things, but the basic thing is there. That's one of them. They're lovely little models, really nice. I've got a full review of these coming. This will come on Saturday, so I'm not going to talk too much about them now. That's the barbers, the little shit houses. They're from Sabotage. Paul printed those up for me, and I've just put them on bases. About Firefly extension for Wok. That was a futuristic wench. Well, yes, whatever could work. Then we've got here. This is a Chinese laundry. 2-story building, so that comes apart. Very nice. Well, that could double up as a saloon quite easily. Again, the hitching posts and the troughs and stuff. Paul printed those for me over at Sabotage. And then finally, this is the big one. This is the can't remember what it's called. Annabelle's. That's it. So like a saloon, brothel kind of place. But that's a big double one there. And I've just stuck some roof tiles on it from Sarissa that I had from my other stuff, because I've currently got another Sarissa building here. This is the last of the Sarissa buildings. A little hut that again I've just given a little yard to, with a little shit house in it as well. So there you go. As I say, I am doing there is a proper review coming of these later on, so you'll see them in the flesh. I think there's a big range of them. I think there's something like 12 or 15 buildings they said on their thing. I'm not sure. Looks fantastic. Any idea what it cost? I really couldn't say. I did ask, but they at the time they were still sorting out the prices and stuff, so I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it is now. But they're released on Friday, so you'll see there. But yeah, they're really nice buildings. Loads of detail on them as well, compared to the Sarissa ones. The Sarissa ones are nice, but they're a little basic. Whereas these ones, I mean, you can just really put them together and just get them straight on the table if you wanted. I know a lot of people don't even paint their cowboy buildings for their various games and stuff. I have, though, because I like scenery. It's all about it. So I'm just going to paint the bases of these as well. As I say, this is a very simple. Well, the other thing I got in the post today was magnets. So Paul, when he printed these bases, he's left a little hole in the bottom so I can magnetise them to the in the carry case so they don't get knocked about. Very good, eh? It's all about thinking. They look good. War base is excellent for money. Yes, they are. If you play historical cowboys as the outlaws, as you make a bad person. Well, apparently calling to midwinter minis, I think it does. and that makes that all the actors that play them bad people as well, I'm assuming. There's I posted it in the What's a Cowboy Facebook thing, but there was a on this day from the BBC archives of some gunfighters in the West Country in 1970, 76, I think it was, and they were having like quick draw competitions. It was brilliant. My next What a Cowboy gang is going to be named after him. Big Rio Dave and Wally Dinsdale. Hilarious. Properly British. Quick prime and coat of dry brushed around. Done. Quick sure he's tooting. Good stuff. Exactly. Well, that's what I do with mine. It's just I think it's about 3 layers of dry brushing. So I undercoat them in burnt umber, and then a dry brush of grey green, heavy dry brush of grey green, and then a heavy dry brush of fawn by Decor Art, and then a heavy lighter dry brush of stone grey, and then they're done. That's it. And then just add a little bit of weathering. If you play Germans, you must be bad too. Yeah, apparently that's what they said. Evening, Paul. You're a bit late. You were cooking your tea. What were you having for your tea, Paul? What are you cooking? This is a tea channel now. That's what it's all about. What do you have for your dinner? I had Mexican beef in pita breads. That's what I had. Leftovers. Because I haven't got any food in before I'm away. So don't judge me. You haven't played what? But it's popular at your club. How's it compare to Dead Man's Hand? Personally, I prefer it, but I wasn't that keen on Dead Man's Hand. Found Dead Man's Hand too token heavy. And I'd only played it once, so maybe I needed a few more plays of it. But both me and my mate, when somebody else put it on for me and my pal Dean, who you may have seen in some of my videos, and we both kind of said, it's doesn't feel. There was quite a lot of things in it that we said we would change. But you know, as I say, I've only played one game of it, but a lot of people like it. It's a very popular game. I like Whack because of the choices that you have. The fact that you don't always get to do everything you want to do, and you have to make choices based on the best of a situation, whether bad or good. And I think it's, but I like that dice mechanic and the complexity of choice making. That's what I like. How do, Paul? Just finished making Lydia my special meaty balls and pasta. Wow, what a lucky lady. Speaking of early war miniatures, one of the other videos three of the other videos I was editing recently were early war miniatures ones. It was for the painting guide for the trenches, for the reinforced shell craters and shell craters, and oh yeah, that was it, 2 of them. And the other one was me making a mine crater, which I've still yet to get on the table. Should do that. But the What a Cowboy campaign has taken over a little bit at the moment. And John says that was just the gist of the variant discussion. It's not that original an argument either. Okay. Yeah, it's not an original argument really. It's a bit. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the video, so it's difficult to comment on it really. But playing the historical bad guys doesn't make you a bad guy, because if you don't have historical bad guys, then it's not historical, is it? I mean, I'm currently painting up, the Japanese, which, their army was the equal nasty of the German, the Wehrmacht. Using prisoners as target practice and bayonet practice and things like that, and starving them and sticking them in jail for years. But then there's plenty of massacres caused by both sides, in the Second World War, and that's not to justify the Germans or the Japanese. What I'm saying is, you look hard enough anywhere. I think this is kind of what Don was saying. You'll find bad people. Oh God. Oh yeah. Excellent, thank you. Looking forward to seeing those. It'll be a little while, Paul, because they are back. The videos are backed up now, at least until June, probably July time, I would have thought. But they'll be out. I are working on some new stream sections for your Border Reaver games. Good stuff. Cork on weed control fabric. See how they go. Excellent. Chicken pasta and mushrooms and a garlic and white wine sauce. Oh, that sounds good. Apart from the mushrooms. Can't stand mushrooms. Roast chicken, caramelised carrots, cheese and butter mash, sweet corn peas with mushrooms. Mushrooms again, what's wrong with you people? Shallots, garlic and red wine gravy. Wow, there's a lot of white wine and red wine going around. Well, somebody needs to play them, otherwise there's no games. Yeah, exactly. It's just games, not a statement to your values. I agree, Greg. Well, I guess it depends, doesn't it? I mean, you know, if the only armies that you've ever bought have been like SS or you know, Japanese punishment battalion, then you might probably want to start rethinking your life choices. But yes, in general, you know, we're playing with toy soldiers, and it is a game. I mean, I don't have any SS figures. I'm kind of in two minds about it as to whether I really want any or not anyway. But you can't really fight Normandy without SS figures. So my Wehrmacht's just standing for the SS. Didn't find on a Featherstone end up calling his Reds versus Blue. He probably did at some point. Corned beef hash. Let's get everyone round. Balls for tea. Yeah, exactly. The problem is he's making it with mushrooms though. Mushrooms can GTFO as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, 38 people watching. Hit that like button, folks. Get those likes going up. So that's them. I still need to do the blue on those. I can't do that until the bases are dried, because otherwise I'm going to get green all over my hands, aren't I? But these little fellas are ready. So what I could do is I could actually finish these off and get some. Let's get some static grass on their bases, because they'll look all right. I might give them a little spray afterwards. Using a really horrible double S unit for your armour. If they perform, it's good. My tactical unit. If they don't, it's historical. Well, that's the thing. I mean, the SS at the end of the war were as bad as everybody else. They were bloody rubbish. You know, there were 17-year-old kids who were crap. They got no, you know, this mythical idea that they were like Hitler's samurai. It's just bollocks. You know, they were rushed to the front as everybody else was. 1944-45. Nice, I ran in front of the queue. I'll have you sharing the mushroom, Alex. I'll fall on the ground. You can have it, John. You could choke on it, in fact. Oh, I hate the stuff. To be honest, though, at this point, I think my dislike of mushrooms. I mean, to be fair, they could taste like the honey that's dripped out of the tit of Natalie Portman, but the fact that I've hated them for so long. I'm not going to find out. I don't want to find out. Awful. Horrible things. Oh dear. Exactly. Yeah. How do you know you like it? It might be masochistic. That's a fair point. I really don't know. You could be. A weird old audience. Yeah, let's get these little fellas. It looks like everybody's tuned in for the cowboy buildings from war bases. You'll have to rewind the video to see them. A sneaky peek. They said they weren't going to release them for another 2 weeks, the 29th. So I was sitting on the video for a while. But then Glenn just messaged me earlier on and just said, "Oh, we're going to put them out. We're going to put them out this week. 40k humans make you a fascist. Chaos makes you a sociopath. Tal makes you a communist. Oaks makes you a psychopath. Dark Elder makes you a pervert. Eldar makes you a narcissist." Mushrooms are really good. A collective radioactivity. Yes, exactly. I knew there was a reason I didn't like them. There you go. Have your poison. Mushroom cloud, you see. There's nothing good comes from a mushroom cloud, does it? It's like threads. That's a date movie, if you've never seen that. Playing the Nazi has never bothered me. Play games not political, and it's our place to justify not. Drew, first game of What a Cowboy plan for this week. Now the figures are painted. Looking forward to it. Characters rolled up and ready. Excellent. Good stuff. It's a great game. It's good fun. We had a 5-player game down at the club. I think that would probably be the limit. I would probably say, I don't know, 3 or 4 players is a good number. But it is, I mean, it's designed for 1 versus 1 really. But yeah, you can always stretch these things a little bit. Oh, just missed a bit there on that fella. What are we saying? What are we all on about? If it bothers you, pull your Russians or Vulcans. Mushrooms are easy to avoid. You're allergic violently to tomatoes, blimey. What scale are the war bases, Wild West buildings? They're 15mm. It's their new release. They're basically the 28mm ones in 15mm. I did ask Greg if he was going to be doing the figures in 15mm as well. He was not Greg, sorry, Glenn, if he was going to do the figures in 15mm. His Black Sheep miniatures, because they're lovely figures, but they're 28mm. I did a review of those. Go and check that out. But he was non-committal at this stage, anyway. We'll see. People can hassle him. Well, without nuclear explosions, you wouldn't have the Trinite. Don't know what that is, John. Threads is a great film, very realistic and thought-provoking. Yes, very much so, because it's set in Sheffield, and when we were kids, Sheffield being the next biggest city to me, we always went to Sheffield, and I know all the places that get melted in it, like the Peace Gardens and things. So it kind of brings it home to you when you know these places. Grim. They showed it us at school when we were nippers. Traumatised a generation of of school kids, I think, that film. I watched it again relatively recently in the last 10 years. Not again. I won't do that again. Pretty grim. What I'm going to do actually before I finish tonight is I am going to paint the blue of these aircraft, and then they're pretty much almost halfway done. Get these done first. So I kind of, then at least I've done what I set out to do. And I can still have that early night that I'm supposed to be having. So do you remember that comic as well, the Raymond Briggs one, When the Wind Blows? That's another nasty one about nuclear war. About the old couple that they basically try to survive it. Grim stuff. Yeah, slightly different to The Snowman, his other book. Evening Hex, how are you doing? I'm doing well, sir. Ooh. Stuff's falling to bits down under this desk. Well, I'm glad I got these civilians done. The first ones, I've got to do the women folk. But that should be enough town folk, I think, for What a Cowboy. There's enough there. So when the Snaggletooth boys and the bounty hunters finally get to Lardville, there'll be some people to early night, 11:15. You're obsessed with me going to bed at late. Let's have a look. Trinite. Glassy material only formed in the heat and pressure of nuclear detonation. Oh, okay. Trinite from, Trinity. I went past the Trinity test site when we were in America. years ago. Well, when I say past, I mean like it was about 120 miles away, but it was on the other side of the mountains that I could see. It was the closest I got to it. War bases are working your custom MDF trays as we speak. I can retire my piece of boxes for ACW miniatures. Excellent, good stuff. Yeah, they do some really nice custom things. I used to give the main column mast of the UK down the road from me, so Rugby was a prime target. Remember them testing the air raid sirens in the early 80s? Yeah, I remember that as well. They used to test it near us. I don't know if it was a factory siren or if it was the air raid siren. I remember them testing something anyway. Hope all the salespeople are called Johnson. Is that from Blazing Saddles? Right, let's get these. Get these fellas done. And I think I might call it a night. That's a good hour. Well, to be honest, I could. No, I was just thinking I could give these an ink wash, but I'll need the underside painting first before I do that, and drying, so I won't have time. I can do that on Thursday or Friday when I get back. Nice and easy. When the wind blows was almost as traumatising the warship down. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very. I remember it being in the kids book section in the library when we were kids. Grim. Now, is it the one? Is it the one where it's got Thatcher and Gualtieri fighting over it, or is that another Raymond Briggs book that I'm thinking of? I can't remember how the war starts. If it was Mr. Alex Johnson is about right. Mr. Johnson bringing the Blazing Saddles. There you go. Yeah, she was depicted as the Iron Lady. I seem to recall. So I'm just using a blue-grey for the flight stands. I'm actually going to have to come back anyway and do the cockpits and stuff in this colour. But if I get this bit done, and then I can ink wash the aircraft, and then I can give them a dry brush when they're dry, and then when the ink wash is dried, and then I'll come back and do the other bits and pieces as well, all the details. So if I can get these big-ish bits out of the way, they're done then, aren't they? Bambi's mum passing off, far more shattering. Well, depends how old you were. I can't remember really seeing Bambi at the cinema. We were never Disney fans when we were kids. There's them. I need to do the undersides of these Sallys as well. Nice animation about a lovely old couple die of radiation sickness. There you go. Yes, the fun never starts. I don't think I realised how many of these planes I was actually going to end up painting when I ordered them, but I managed to get them all done. Almost got them all done. Anyway, we're part way there. I'll probably do a little video on the entire collection when I've done it, rather than lose it in a hobby update. I might just do a separate actual a full collection video, and it'll remind me at least of what I've painted before they get put in boxes and never played with. No, they will. Again, it's another good club game, is Bag the Hun. Everybody could have just a few aircraft themselves. He wants to serve the girl stuffed marrow. When she asked what the meat was, I told it was Bambi's mum. It was venison. Nice. Yeah, Bag the Huns are great. We played it quite a few times down at the club. Quite a number of us. Everybody has their own little flight. Sorry, just concentrating. The sound hasn't gone or anything. Yeah, I mean, there's still quite a lot to do on these aircraft anyway, because I've got to just realise I've got to paint the numbers on the bases anyway. I've got to paint the nose cones and all the other bits and pieces, the cockpits and all the glass and stuff. So there was no way I was going to get these finished tonight, but I've broken the back of them, and that's the main thing. Well, she said something like cool. Right. Oh, I've painted that bit. How many out are there? 28. Oh, she said we're going to be demonetised. Right, last 3, and then that's me done for tonight, I think. I've still got to pack. So I've still got other things, pressing needs, I'm afraid. Right. I keep saying right, as I'm about to say something else. I'm not. Sorry, I'm just concentrating while I paint the undersides of them. So I don't really want to have to go back and paint the top side of them again, if I can avoid it. If I can avoid it. I should use some of that panel liner stuff on these, but I've never bothered. A thinned down Nuln Oil is good enough as a wash for these. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and repair a couple of these bits and pieces here, but I should have really painted the blue first. You live and learn, don't you? Well, some of us do anyway. I don't seem to be in that camp. Okay, that's the last one. These last wee bits. There we go. All done. They just need a bit of neatening up, but they'll be dry by the time I get back in a couple of days, and I can get them finished off. Right. Have fun. Catch you next time you're on. Cheers, Duke. I will leave it to that. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been emotional, as always. I'll see you on the next stream, which will probably know you next Tuesday, I would have thought. See what else we're painting. Maybe some more women town folk for What a Cowboy. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, as always. And I shall see you in the next Storm of Steel video. There's a Romanian painting guide coming on Friday. And then, as I say, Saturday morning there'll be the proper review of the war bases, bits and pieces as well. So good night, y'all. And I'll see ya when I see ya.